Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Would you all stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Supervisor. Trustee Bussino?
Here.
Trustee Smith?
Here.
Trustee Nevers?
Present.
Treasurer Goodhue?
Here.
Clerk Posey here, and Supervisor Dunn.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you. We have the approval of the agenda. There's only one thing on the agenda, but we still need to approve it. Is there any changes?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion by Ms. Posey,
Support.
supported by Mr. Buzzino. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by saying nay. Motion carries. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. I believe that everyone is aware of the state statute that indicates when a board member passes while in office, there are 45 days in which to replace the individual. With the funeral services for Mr. Kuzminski and the holiday season while the office was closed, and the scheduled second and fourth Wednesday board meetings, this is the only way to fit this meeting in. That being said, the applicants will be called up to the podium in the order they were received. There are 2 residents that phoned in this week earlier that they could not be here this evening. However, their applications are in your packet. Those would be Charles Oliver and James Burke. The last item is if there are any questions from the board members, the time used to answer those questions will not be part of the 3 to 5 minutes that you can tell the board why you feel you are the best candidate. We will now move on, and I'm probably going to murder this man's last name, but Paul Delage? Not here. Pete Lucido? Good evening.
Good evening, board members and fellow residents. I would like to start off by offering my sincere condolences to the board and to the family of Roger Kuzminski. My name is Peter Lucido, and I've been a Macomb Township resident for over 16 years. When my wife and I got engaged back in 2004, we purchased our first home in Macomb Township, and we've lived here ever since. When we were looking for a place to start our family, this was our first and only choice. And now that I have the opportunity to offer my time and effort to make it the best community it can be. A little bit about myself. I'm 37 years old, married to my college sweetheart, Anna Lucido. We have 3 children, Ava, Olivia, and Paul. I currently co-own and operate an independent insurance agency and manage 30 staff members. I've been a licensed life, health, and property casualty insurance agent for 20 years, a licensed real estate agent for 16 years, a licensed insurance counselor for 3 years. I'm a proud graduate of De La Salle Collegiate High School, where I was heavily involved in student government as the treasurer. I have a bachelor's degree from Oakland University with a major in communication and a minor in political science. While in college, I also worked for the Walt Disney Company at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. I have served as vice president of my previous homeowners association. I've been very involved in the community in such areas as coaching Little League, even before I had kids, and teaching religious education at my church. In addition to my academic and career achievements, I feel I can bring a unique set of skills and experience to this board, because from a young age, substantial responsibilities have fallen on my shoulders through a series of unfortunate, life-changing events that have occurred throughout the last 10 years. And I have faced them all head-on and assumed all of those responsibilities and never wavered in my faith or ability to handle them. Aside from these events, I have been very blessed in my life, and I want to take this opportunity to give back to my community and help shoulder the responsibilities of this board and my hometown. There are many good candidates that have applied for this position here tonight, and I believe that any one of them in their own right would be a benefit to this board. But I feel I would be the best choice for the future of Macomb Township. Whether I'm appointed or not, I will accept and respect your decision. Thank you for your time.
Paul, would you say your last name, please?
Peter Lucido.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
Any questions from the board for Mr. Lucido?
No, me and Pete spoke on the phone the other night, so he had some questions.
I have a couple of questions. What are you going to do to prepare for the board meetings?
I will definitely read any items that are sent to me and, you know, I guess look at them with a impartial view and hear what the residents have to say on it.
Okay. And then, are you willing to make motions on controversial subjects?
I am.
Okay. And I know this is before, but I'm assuming a lot of people who would be appointed would be willing to run at the next election. So I want to know, the township board has always been favorable to taking classes and learning your job. Are you willing and able to take classes?
Yes, I have to do continuing education for my real estate and for my insurance licenses every 2 years. So I
Okay.
do those already, and I'd be willing to do them here as well.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
The next candidate is Lori Charich. How bad did I butcher that name?
Actually, it's John Perkins.
Okay.
Thank you. My name is Lori Sherrick. Close, very close. And I appreciate the opportunity to present my case to become a trustee for the Macomb Township Board. Macomb Township has been our choice as a residence, as an area to bring up our family, and as a place to invest our lives and our career in. We've lived in Macomb Township in 2 various residences since 2001, and moved to Macomb Township from Warren for the school systems, for the opportunity for growth, and for our belief in the Macomb Township area. So we've taken advantage of also being advocates as citizens of Macomb Township. One of the projects that we as citizen advocates took up was actually having a road paving initiative for Fairchild Road. That was our prior residence. We felt it was critical to have that as a byway, and with a very productive and collaborative initiative with citizens, we raised the issue to the board, brought that up, worked collaboratively with you at the board commission, and we were successful in having that road paved to the benefit of our citizens, definitely, and as a major thoroughfare through that township area. So we felt comfortable getting engaged, having you listen to our concerns, and showing progress to the township. And we can see that that's a major thoroughfare and very well represented now and is achieving significant growth. We've since moved out here, we're about a mile away, in the Wolverine Trace subdivision. So again, I've continued to invest in Macomb Township and believe this is the place where we want to continue to raise our family and be contributors. I bring over 30 years experience working in corporate America for large manufacturing and systems information technology companies. I have a degree in computer information systems. I represent large global contract negotiations, and I'm very familiar with participating on boards, making very difficult decisions. I was a 2-term appointed member for our Lutheran High School Association, participated in very critical decisions of growth, of difficulties, of school closings, and of future growth plans. The recent building project that you see at Lutheran North was part of our board's decision to help invest into the school systems and continue to bring school capabilities to the residents that are moving to the township. In addition, the growth plan, looking through the plan in much more detail, what a difference 10 years has made, and looking forward to the next 10 years. Reading through that in detail, it's how much we have changed. Where we need to go is a critical point right now for Macomb Township. We have to be prepared for the growth, looking for those opportunities proactively, planning ahead, and we continue to see those activities happening with the connectivity program, the sidewalks, the improvement of the roads. Those are the things that are going to continue to bring citizens to Macomb Township. When we moved here, it was for the accessibility, the park systems, the residential areas, the walkability, and the proximity to shopping. So it fits all of those needs. And also I saw a key point in the plan regarding planning for the growing aging demographic for Macomb Township as well, and looking forward to how retirees will look for this township to be their point and their place of residence, and how we can contribute to that fact. We're looking forward to being a contributing member of the board. I have a significant experience with the board and passionate about contributing our value and how we can bring forth the future plan. And my ability, again, to listen to the citizens, become an active citizen advocate, prepare for the board meetings. It's a virtual world. We have all of the information at our fingertips, so we should be well prepared for any of those events and being able to be contributing to those factors. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
I want to add, when we do interviews, we asked everybody the same questions. You answered one of my questions already. The other one was, are you willing to make motions on controversial subjects?
Yes.
Okay. And then, should you run for the board in the future, are you willing and able to take classes to better do your job?
Yes, I am. I'm also a certified project management professional that requires ongoing PDUs and education, so absolutely expect that as part of the growth.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, Madam Chair. I probably should ask the first candidate. I didn't ask him because I talked to him, and he lives pretty close to me in the best subdivision of Macomb Township. But so I knew his answer to one of the questions. I'm glad you brought up planning because, you know, that's something we really, really have to, I think, key in on. I like how you said within the last 10 years, things have changed. You know, there's good growth and sometimes there's growing pains and you know, we have a lot of good growth and we have some growing pains. I think it's something that needs to be revisited sooner than later, and I brought that up at the board meeting. The only question I'm going to ask, planning's a big one for me, also is do you, I think Karen kind of maybe asked it, but I wasn't sure, whether you get appointed or not, do you plan to run in November of 2020?
The answer
I'm
is,
going to be asking.
The answer is yes. And when I saw this opportunity to fill a position as an appointee, it was a perfect opportunity because, as my husband could attest as well, I've been very interested in getting much more involved in our township governance. And I saw this as a perfect opportunity to begin that process and actually continue through that process.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is John Parkinson.
Good evening. Excuse me. While I believe a lot of you know me, my name is John Parkinson. I have been a resident in Macomb Township for 14 years. Though the shoes of the vacated seat by the passing of Trustee Krasmensky will be hard to fill, if chosen, I will do my best. I have been a resident of Macomb Township for the past 14 years, and I will be fiscally responsible with the residents' money and help the township move forward in a positive way. I believe I have built many relationships with the residents in the township, and I can bring residents' trust back to the board by building that by keeping that bridge built between them. As a small business owner, I understand what it takes to be a public servant. I too have done continuing education and many aspects. I was a previous firefighter for the city of Mount Clemens, had to do continuing education for that as well as EMT classes, continuing education as an electrician, you know, and as a business owner, a small handyman company here in the township. I'm always learning new stuff, always taking on schooling and whatnot. So while I do not have a degree like many others, I bring many of my life experiences to this board. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Mr. Parkinson, you stated that you founded a charity?
Yes, we're not, I co-founded a charity called Hearts and Homes Ministry, and we are not yet a 501c3. We haven't pushed that, but what we do is we give back to the community for those who can't afford things like, say, a hot water tank. I get people to donate money, and I provide the labor free. We've done work in Roseville. We helped a lady put a Roseville council was going to arrest a single mom and put her in jail for a blemish on her roof, small blemish. The founder and myself, we got together with his roofing company, and we helped this lady. She could afford the materials, but she couldn't afford the labor. So we helped her put a roof on her home. I've remodeled a bathroom for an elderly lady who had a hole in her floor in front of her toilet and could have fallen through. We did that purely free. She paid nothing. With donations, we did that. So, and we do a lot of I do a lot of other things, business related.
How long have you been, how long ago did you found this charity?
We've been doing it for the last 3 years, maybe, I think. We just haven't seen the need to press the 501c3. As you know, sometimes it's costly to do that, and you know we're just a couple guys that do this. You know, the founder's a project manager for a home improvement company. He does roofing and siding, and you know me with a handyman business. So we just do what we can.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Oh, yes.
You answered one of the questions as well, so I'll ask you the other two. What are you going to do to prepare for the meetings?
The same thing. Read the board packets, study up, ask questions, find out. Do the legwork, find out what's needed, and and vote accordingly.
Okay, and then are you willing to make motions on controversial subjects?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next is Robert Johnston.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bob Johnston. I've been a member of this community for 28 years. While living here, I've worked in L'Anse Creuse Public Schools for the past 25 years. Prior to that, I taught in the city of Detroit for 11 years. I've coached both at Dakota High School and I've coached at L'Anse Creuse North. And I will be retiring from my teaching position April 1st. So that's pretty exciting stuff. I have been a public servant my entire adult life. As I'm going toward this next phase in my life of retiring, I thought what better way to serve the community that I live in and that we've lived in for these 28 years, my wife and I, and to become part of the trustees. I was part of the original historical commission with Tim a few years back, and had to leave that position because just family issues. We had kids growing up, and there just wasn't the time. So I had to step away from that. I've been involved in everything at the high school level that you can imagine, from fundraising to school improvement to being involved in preparing kids to test and everything in between. I feel like my public service is a great thing for me to bring to the trustees. And so I look forward to that opportunity. Questions?
Any questions?
Madam Chair, just one. Bob, first of all, thanks for being in the best profession in the world. So,
You bet.
Yes, we did serve on a historical commission. That was fun to get that started.
It was.
I'm just going to ask you, I knew if I'm not asking a candidate if they're running, I know their answer already. I think John has made it pretty public. I know Pete's answer, but Pete can answer that. Do you plan on running in 2020?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What are you going to do to prepare for the meetings beforehand?
Just as everybody else has alluded to, any preparation that we have, emails, packets, things that need to be gone over, I will certainly do that. And again, because I'm retiring April 1st, I will have much more time to devote to this than maybe others might.
Okay. And are you willing to make motions on controversial subjects?
I am.
Okay. And are you willing to take classes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As I indicated before, Mr. Oliver is not here this evening. Next, we would have Ronald Papa. Or Papa, I'm not sure which.
Okay. Supervisor Dunn and the Township Board, thank you for inviting me today. My name is Dr. Ron Papa, and I have been a resident of Macomb Township for 21 years. I live at 50759 Russell Drive in Middle Branch Estates, and I'm honored to be here among these respected applicants in consideration. If my name sounds a little familiar, I ran for trustee back in 2000 and also again in 2004. But let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have a PhD in Management Information Systems, so if you're looking for any technical work to be done for the township, I'm your guy. I've got a master's degree in finance. I've also got a bachelor's degree in communications. I've been working for FCA, or Fiat Chrysler, for the last couple of years, but prior to that, I spent 17 years at Comerica Bank as a vice president of their IT systems and also doing operational risk management. I'm also currently a adjunct professor at Oakland University. Been doing that for 3 years. And prior to that, I taught for 6 years at Baker College. My military services, that I've served 2 years of regular duty in the Army. I served 6 years Michigan National Guard, and I served in Iraq for 6 months during Operation Desert Storm. I've been a Lions Club member for 15 years, also served on the board and as a president. I've served for 10 years as part of the Middle Branch Estates Subdivision Association president and board member. I'm also on the Project Management Institute Great Lakes chapter, actually a past president and executive board member. My wife and I plan to live out our days here in Macomb, and my daughter is a senior at Dakota High School, so we're real proud of her. So we're excited about her next journey. And one of the things that, one of the questions that I really liked that you offer for applying is that, what do you hope to accomplish as a board member? And whether it's starting a new job or joining a new club or teaching another class, my goals are always the same. Leave things better than when I started and help as many people succeed along the way. So I hope I can one day drive through the township and point at a park or a center or some other development that has improved the community and be able to say I was part of a team that was responsible for providing that. And with that, thank you for your time and consideration.
Mr. Papa, if
Yes.
I may. Under Community Services, you indicated that you have participated in 8 different clubs or organizations.
That's correct.
4 of them were in Shelby Township.
Yes, that's correct. Prior to moving to Macomb, I had done a number of served on a number of committees in Shelby Township.
Okay,
So those were Parks and Rec, Beautification Committee, Board of Review, things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone
Madam
else?
Chair,
Oh, yes.
I'd just like to thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you very much.
Anyone else? Karen?
Are you planning on running? I'm sorry.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And, oh, go ahead.
Okay, what are you going to do to prepare for the meetings?
Not just read the packets, but I'll go on site if it requires some of that legwork to truly understand the issue. I know recently there was an issue with the proposed park at 24 Mile and Foss, and I wanted to actually see what the situation looked like. So recently I drove out there to get a look at it. So.
And are you willing to make motions on controversial subjects?
I work in IT. That's all you do all day is argue with people, or maybe not argue is the right word, but yes, you propose things that are not always well received.
Okay. And then if you were elected, would you be willing to take classes to learn your job better?
Absolutely. Always looking forward to taking classes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Daniel Hickson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'm Daniel Hickson. I have been a resident of Macomb Township for 4 years. I've been married for 32 years. I have 2 daughters and 3 grandsons that are all residents of Macomb Township. And I'd like to start off by also saying my condolences to the Krasminski family and what they've gone through. I appreciate the opportunity to compete for the open Board of Trustees position, and I believe that my formal education combined with my professional work experience will help me face the challenges that I would experience as a fellow board member. My educational achievements, excuse me, I'm all choked up talking to you. My educational achievements include the following specialties: political science, business administration, marketing, and international business. The Internal Revenue Service licenses me as an individual income tax preparer, and the Federal Aviation Administration licenses me as a private pilot. I am the son of a public safety officer from the city of Centerline and a state of Michigan mental health administrator. I would tell you that public service is within my DNA. I'm currently serving my 3rd term as the treasurer of the Cornerstone Village Homeowners Association, and I'm proud of the board's achievements. On behalf of more than 400 homeowners, we've achieved financial excellence while providing outstanding services to our community. When I ask myself why I would want to serve on the board, and I put myself in your position, I can imagine that you would want to select the best candidate to uphold the board duties with dignity and respect. The primary reason I have chosen to compete for this open position is to increase value to the work that you do. I believe that my education, combined with my professional experience, will immediately bring that value to the team. And by selecting me, I can increase my commitment to our community. My 3 grandsons will learn firsthand from my actions the importance of participating in local government, which I hope will eventually propel them to engage the community when their time comes. And I will consistently serve, asking myself, what can I do to prove to you that you made the right decision choosing me? I would like to tell you that with my educational background, I have always sought to increase my education and would be more than willing to take any and all classes that were recommended to me in order to fulfill my duties as a fellow board member. In preparing for those meetings, it's been my experience serving on a board that at different times, different demands are put upon you. And you must consistently educate yourself so that you have the tools and resources and the knowledge necessary to make the best decisions, even those that are controversial. My reading score, I read 330 words a minute. It's at times like those that really helps. I will tell you, I do plan to seek election in November. Whether I am selected for this opportunity for the next few months or not. And I thank you for your time.
Any questions?
You answered all mine.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Richard Marley.
Good evening, Board. My name is Richard Marley, and I want to thank you, for, first of all, for the opportunity to apply for the open position of Macomb Township Trustee. I have served on the Macomb Township Fire Department for the past 26 years as a paid-on-call firefighter and currently hold the rank of lieutenant. In my full-time employment, I'm a captain and second in command of the Clinton Township Police Department with 40 years of unblemished service. I currently command the Criminal Investigation Division and act as the Public Information Officer dealing with the news media. The Macomb Township Board has seen fit to appoint me to the Act 345 Fire Pension Board and the Ethics Ordinance Committee. For the past 20 years, I have served as an unpaid director of the Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union and currently serve as the board secretary. With my years of service on the fire department and Macomb Township boards, I am very familiar with the Macomb Township government, organization, and operation. In my employment with Clinton Township, I am assistant department head and constantly interact with township officials and others to get the job done. Because the growth has moved north from Clinton Township to Macomb Township, I have seen the same issues years ago in Clinton Township that Macomb Township is now facing. I fully realize the importance and responsibility of a township trustee. Decisions made today affect the township many years down the road, and I'm also spending other people's money, so the most efficient and effective use of that money must be made. I have a proven work ethic and a proven ability to make an informed and logical decisions while working with others. If you add up my years of varied experience along with my proven record of public service, I would be a highly qualified candidate for this position. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Any questions?
Mr. Marley, you mentioned you have interaction with, did you say news media for Clinton Township?
The Public Information Officer, that's correct.
Public Information Officer, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, Mr. Marley, did it go over my head? I'm Rich. I've met you too much to call you Mr. Marley.
Yes, that's fine, Rich.
We've talked a few times, especially when you're with ethics. Did you say you were running too?
Yes.
Clerk Posey, you might have a front and back on this trustee ballot. It's going to be a lot of candidates in 2020. Thanks.
You want me, the controversial?
Yes.
In my present position as a police command officer, I've faced many controversial issues, and I deal with those every day. Okay. And you talk about going to classes. I was just up at Mapers for the pension board. I took the classes. I had to take vacation time for my work. It's not a problem to do that.
Okay. And then what are you going to do to prepare for the meetings?
I've sat on a lot of boards. Now, as an example, with the credit union, we get the board packet. I have to look it over. Now, my only question is, do we have a chain of command? At the credit union, we have to deal with the CEO. We don't just start calling people. So I would have to learn what the chain of command is. If you want information, do I have a question about water main? Who do I go to first? That would be my only question to follow the chain of command.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Sure. Next, we have Richard Paul.
There we go. Good evening, everyone. I'm Richard Paul, and I have been a Macomb Township resident for 30 years. I've been married to my wife for 35 years, and we have 3 wonderful grown children. I have a bachelor's degree in communication and a marketing degree, associate's degree in marketing, that is. I am president and CEO of a company called the Carrie and Paul Group, an entertainment and events planning company that my dad and I founded back in 1975, so we've been doing it for a while. My experience includes being a team member of the Macomb Township Ethics Ordinance Planning Committee, election inspector for many, many years, and a couple times as a precinct co-chair. I'm a charter member and past president of the Central Macomb Optimist Club. We work with the Macomb Charitable Foundation on events, one of which is called the Shop with the Sheriff, which I'm very active in. My number one mission is to work with the residents, the staff, and the board for the betterment of Macomb Township. My children are now grown. No longer do I have to take them to theater practice or softball, rehearsal, or anything like that. So it's time, and I'm ready to serve. Any questions?
Yes, Madam Chair, real quick. I should have asked this from Rich, too. I'm pretty much asking the standard questions to everyone, except I think this is valid not to ask everybody else because you actively just did something within the township with the ethics ordinance, and
Yes.
thanks for your work on that. I don't know if the public knows how much time you guys put in.
I had a great time doing it. We learned a lot, and I love working with Rich, too. We had a great time.
So would one of the things, if you took a seat on this board, would you join others in pushing that everything that was brought forward and passed in that ethics ordinance comes to fruition?
Yes, that's one of my number one goals is to make sure that goes forward. We put 2.5 years into that thing, I think, almost. And I want to make sure that everything moves forward and we get the thing going. That would be my number one goal.
Anyone else? Karen?
What are you going to do to prepare for meetings?
I'm going to do what I did for this one. I'm going to read everything I can read. I'm going to do what that gentleman did too. If I can't figure something out, I'll call somebody here, staff member. I'll go to the site. I'll do whatever it takes so I understand and I know what I need to know for the meetings.
Okay. And are you willing to make the motion on a controversial?
Oh yes,
subject?
yes. That's
Okay.
part of the deal.
And then what is your feeling on, and would you be able to take classes?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Would you be willing and able to take classes to better your?
Oh yes, most definitely, most definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, if I may, having had the pleasure of working with Mr. Paul with elections, I just want to say he's very thorough. He does a great job, does his homework, and he has been a great service to us administering elections in the township.
We've had lots of great times. Shaky times too, but great times too.
We have a lot more this year.
Oh good, yeah, I know they're coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything
very
else?
much.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Next is Charles Missig, and I do not see him. So the next one is James Burke. He was one of the ones that was going to be absent this evening. So after that is Joanne Riccia.
My name is Joanne Rakia, and I've been a Macomb Township resident for over 21 years. I moved into the township in 1999, and I raised a family here. I've been a long life resident of Macomb County, so I like to think of myself as homegrown in Macomb. I have a long history of business management through family business and from my own self-employment. This includes import and wholesale, along with the Nordstrom supply chain. I have perfected my skills in U.S. and international logistics and customs. Managing this business has exposed me to domestic and international financing, trademark, copyright laws, and I've been exposed to different government agencies. I didn't know how to prepare for today, so I actually read the entire master plan, which I thought was a really thought out, great master plan, and it's amazing how much our township has achieved. My perception of the Macomb Township Board is that you oversee important decisions and provide services to the township, including budgets, land use, improvements with ordinance and policy oversight, and implementing future financial stability and growth. I've always been very proud to call Macomb Township my home, and I want to give back to my community, which led me here tonight. I would like the opportunity to apply my knowledge to this board and to help out at this difficult time in any way that I can. So thank you very much. Like I said, my name is Joanne Reiki. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you in the elevator the other day. I was so embarrassed afterwards, but finally, Thank you, Ms. Dunn, and thank you very much. Any questions? I'm so sorry.
Anyone?
Joanne, are you going to run in 2020?
Yeah, I really would consider running in 2020, absolutely. I also ran for, in 2018, I ran for county commissioner. I was the Democratic nominee for that. And I always felt, and I really feel this deep in my heart, that if we want to make positive changes in the world, we must really start in our own community. So that's what propelled me to run. And then when I heard about the situation here, I thought, you know, let me get over there and just tell them I'm willing to help you any way I can. If it's not on this board, just tell me what you need. I'm here for you. So thank you very much, everyone. And yes, I'm willing to make controversial decisions, and I'm always looking to further my education. In my business, it's constant. I have to constantly be educating. We're all training on Skype, so because it's international, so I'm used to that too. But like I said, any way I can help out, let me know.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Linda Clore. She's not here. So the last one on the list is Lisa McFarland.
Good evening. I am just overwhelmed at the applicants and everyone's experience, and I'm so proud to be living in Macomb Township. I've lived here for, gosh, over 20 years. My husband and I have several businesses throughout Macomb County. I'm overwhelmed. I'm not going to go through my resume. Everything is, you've probably read it, and it's posted for everyone to read. The main companies that are in Macomb Township that I service primarily are the home care company. So I focus a lot on the elderly and people with disabilities. And then recently we purchased the Papa John's at 23 in Hayes by Imagine. That's been very interesting through the last 3 years with all of the things that's happened with that corporation overall across the US and then also globally. But I like to think of myself, I've done a lot of things through the years. I worked in hospitals and nursing homes. I'm actually a registered dietitian and a licensed nursing home administrator. I pride myself on, I'm very good at problem solving. I meet deadlines, both short-term and long-term goals. I'm able to collaborate with a lot of different individuals so that we can reach a positive outcome, very solution-driven. I did go over the master plan and the ordinances and things from Macomb Township, and I guess I would just say to you that overall, I think I would be a good choice to direct the operations for Macomb Township. I obviously do a lot of CE credits for my credentials, so having said that, any education or things that I would need to do would not be a problem at all. And what was your other question? Oh.
Are you willing to make controversial?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I do think it's important, obviously, that you consider, you know, everyone's opinions, thoughts, ideas, and kind of do a needs assessment, I guess, and take everything together, you know, before we reach those decisions. I just figured also, you know, I would be kind of new to this area, but I love where you're going, and I do watch a lot of the things online. And I also want to let you know I'm a little bit older now, and I've been doing a lot of things through the years, so I do have time to participate, probably more than most. So, having said that, do you have any questions?
Anyone?
Lisa, do you plan to run in 2020?
Yes, yes, yes. I've always been interested in our community, both, you know, local and at the state level. And like I said, I do have time, and I have family members who've been in law enforcement and all that kind of stuff.
And I hope your children are doing well. Our children went to elementary school together, so.
Yeah, they are, but now they're not children. But sometimes
Yes,
I say
know.
to myself,
that
why
too.
do I have these young adults living in my home? You graduated. Why are you still here? But anyways, on that note for education too, I did go to Michigan State, so go green, go white. Oh, I'm sorry. Any other questions?
Anyone?
No, I think
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. That concludes the interviews for tonight. There will be no decision made tonight. It will be at the January 22nd meeting. So you'll have to wait until then to find out who will be the next trustee.
Madam Chair, if I may add to that. For those of you that are a candidate, you will not have to vote that evening. The agenda is set so that it's the last item on the agenda to make the, discuss and possibly make the decision to appoint, and then you'll be sworn in following that item. So some people were concerned the last time if they would be, have to be prepared to vote that evening. You will not. We'll do it at the end of the meeting, and you'll be prepared for the next one.
Okay. Public comments. Anyone that wishes to speak, please come to the podium. If you forgot something to tell us, now's your chance.
Peter Lucido. I just want to say I do plan to run in 2020. I just want to make that known, so thank you.
I didn't want to speak for you, Pete. I knew the answer, but I didn't want to speak for you.
Anyone else? Very well, that concludes the business of this evening. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Goodhue, supported by Ms. Posey. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by saying nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.